So here's what's weird about the Catacombs of Paris, and it isn't just for the fact that they laid it out in some sort of ritualistic way where they had the skulls and crossbones all lined up in a very neat way, and then they had circles with skulls and more crossbones and all that other stuff. No, that's not the reason it's really weird. The reason it's really weird is the fact that at the time, whenever it was built, the population wasn't that freaking big. It was like 750 million to 900 million, and the catacombs contained around 6 million people, which would be around, I don't know, 0.6 to 0.7% of the population. If you took those numbers and put them in today's numbers, it is freaking wild. Now, the whole reason the Catacombs of Paris was built was because there was too many freaking bodies. They didn't have enough room for all the bodies, and they were like leaking their juices into people's cellars, and they started freaking out, and they was like, you know what, let's do something. So they took all the bodies and just tossed them down in a hole and expected workers to just kind of line them up. Well, I guess they weren't bodies. They were just like skulls and bones and stuff. But anyways, that's besides the point. They did it because the population was too freaking big. They just happened to do it in a really satanic looking ritual way. Now, like I said, that is a very interesting number whenever you compare it to today's standards, because if you just take 1% of the population now, that would be what, 80 million people? Well, if you divide it in half because of all the cremations, it would put it around 40 million. Now, if you want to hear a really interesting statistic, in the United States, around 3 million people die every year, so half the population of the catacombs. Where are all the freaking bodies going? Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, there's still graveyards being built. I've seen it before, but that is very few and far in between in comment sections. I can tell you that because I made a video about this the other day. So not only is that odd, I know a lot of people will bring up the fact that they do it way differently overseas. Like, I guess they have some sort of situation where they basically rent burial spots for like 100 or 125 years, and then after that time, they dig the bodies back up, get the skeletons out, and then shove them into another kind of catacombs. And then there's a high-tech one where you got to scan a freaking key card and you go down in it and you see all your dead relatives all stacked up and stuff. But yes, there are plenty of options. However, it is still a really wild number whenever you think about how many bodies actually get buried, because it is a large amount of freaking people whenever you bring in the whole world population. Like I said, the Paris catacombs contained around 0.6 to 0.7% of the population. Now, granted, a lot of those graves and stuff like that they dug up and moved the bodies were older, so it wasn't just in that time frame. However, it's still a wildly large number whenever you take that and put it into today's numbers. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I had a few different people bring it up, and I'm hoping more people will start giving me suggestions on things to look up, because I'm curious to know what you're interested in, and I will do a deep dive on it probably if it's pretty cool and like kind of weird and out there. Preferably an unsolved mystery instead of one that I can absolutely debunk right off the bat. That'd be cool. Okay, if you like that and you want to leave a suggestion or follow me, feel free to do that, or leave a comment. You can, I mean, I'm here. You know what I mean? You can hang out. Okay, this is getting weird again. Okay, bye.